Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, it has been said that it matters less where you begin in life. It matters more where you end up in life. I believe this statement has value. You see, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, life can be likened to a race with a definite beginning and a definite end. And a whole lot of time in the middle where people shop, watch this now, for position. As long as you are still in the race, there is a chance for you to win. But take yourself out of the race and it's certain that you will lose. I feel to believe that one significant difference between life and any other game or race is that in life we only compete against ourselves. Even though others may be involved, each person's life is judged and measured against their own individual potential. Here this morning, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, after it's all said and done, and here this morning after we celebrate through the whole year all the holidays and all the things we celebrate in birthdays, we find ourselves right now at the last Sunday, come on somebody, of the year. The Bible, listen now, promised you that God will be with you and he will never forsake you, nor will he leave you. But if the truth be told, from the beginning of this year, the devil been whispering in your ear that you're not going to make it. I come to stop by to tell someone that you made it thus far. Because of all that you've been through, come on somebody, you're still here. Because of what you've experienced in this year from the beginning, God allowed you through his mercy and grace to be still present amongst the men. It doesn't matter how you start off, come on somebody, in this thing. It doesn't matter how dominated it look like you are. Then you gotta be mindful because the enemy sometimes can give you a sneaky hit. But the flip side of that is the enemy might have been beating you all year long. The enemy might have been defeating you in many things. But God said it ain't over till he said it's over. It ain't over until the bell rings. God said you still have a good hook left. God said you can still move and shuffle. He said hit him with your best shot. You can still win this thing. Now, we cannot always determine what we go through in life, but we can determine how we go through it. You see, you got to be in a position of understanding, regardless of what I go through in life, I can either try to do it on my own, or I can take up on the, come on somebody, I can take up on the bloodstained of Jesus and say, God, listen, I can't do this stuff on my own, but I know I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do this thing and be victorious. God said you can't make out your plan, but you can make out the master plan in the midst of the plan, and let God do what he got to do while you're going through it. God said you must finish strong. On this last Sunday, you must be determined. I say you must be determined. Look at your neighbor and say, it takes determination. You must be determined. It turns our potential into reality. God said it doesn't matter how much you will to do a thing. He said you gotta be determined. God said you gotta stop being like some folk in the world, and you gotta stop being like some immature folk in the church. And God said when you put your hand on the plow, be determined to finish this thing. God said don't get out the race halfway through. You don't even know if you're gonna win. Don't let the enemy convince you everybody else ahead of you ain't no way in the world I can finish this thing on top. God said you don't know how it's gonna turn out. Remember the story about the turtle and the rabbit? You gotta keep on doing. I don't care how slow your pace is. God said just be determined that you gonna make it to the end. I know they got some rabbits around you running real fast, look like they're gonna make this thing to the finish line, but remember how it happened to the rabbit? The rabbit got lashed. The rabbit got deterred. The rabbit got, come on somebody, distracted. But you gotta be like a turtle and keep on the course. No matter how long it takes, I'm gonna make it to the finish line. And God told me you'll discover when you get to the finish line, you thought the rabbit beat you, but you the first one that made it. God said you got to be determined. In this Bible, every time I find myself going through, every time I find myself, watch this now, looking like I want to give up, every time I find myself with my back against the wall. Every time I find myself discouraged. Every time I find myself that, God, I just can't take no more, God. I don't think I can take another step, God. God, I need you to step in on me right now. You got to understand, God hears your prayers. He understands your concerns. God many times bring me through this life. That's why God put this thing before you. That's why He giving you a church to preach the word. He allowed me to go through the word of God. And me going through the word of God. Listen now, Mama Jean, when I find myself in the word, God bring me to circumstances that others have experienced that I am presently going through. And God always allowed me to read their situation. See, there were many in the Bible who were going through some things. See, y'all gotta stop getting focused on the end. And y'all gotta sometimes go back to the beginning. Y'all gotta stop looking at Paul in his victorious state and go back to how Paul started. Y'all gotta stop looking at how Joseph got the benefits and go back to Joseph's testimony of how it started. Y'all gotta go back to when Job began and stop tripping on getting devil for your trouble. Man, they had to go through some stuff. What would your testimony be at the end? What will your last words be? How will others remember you? With each decision, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, you are writing the story others will one day tell about you. What will be your legacy in this Christian journey? Will they remember you being faithful? Will they remember you finishing strong? Will it be a testimony of you declaring, I went through hell and high waters, but yet I stayed faithful to the end? This is what this Christian life is all about. It's not about the hobloop and the high fives and the spinning around 50 times and running around the church and shouting to the top of your voice. This Christian journey is to stay on the course until you complete the mission that God has sent you on to complete. You gotta finish strong in the